Good evening and welcome friends this Sunday evening. The fact that you are watching News Sunday prime time shows how seriously you take what's happening around you, and it's our endeavor to bring you the best. It's a day of irony, in fact, like no other. On a day we have had a couple of families with some of their members active as terrorists in Kashmir hoisting Tricolor from atop their rooftops in both Jammu and Kashmir regions, in fact. We have had former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti again trying to push a no normalcy narrative. She tweeted with a picture of Jawaharlal Nehru from 1949 next to the JNK LG in a Tiranga Yatra amid a security cover and tried to project as if there is no normalcy in the valley. What are the facts? We will discuss this and more. Let's begin with the headlines first. Massive response to Prime Minister's Har Ghar Tiranga call. Tricolor celebrated across country. Tiranga rallies held. Glimpses of changing narrative in the valley. Brother and family of terrorists hoist Tiranga. Naya Kashmir also says Har Ghar Tiranga. But negativity brigade still at it. Mehbooba Mufti Politicises the Tiranga campaign, draws the Nehru comparison. Demand of NIA probe in new violence raised in Mahapanchayat. Next Mahapanchayat at the Jantar Mantar on August 28th. A day after a meeting, Ajit Pawar, Sharad Pawar says well-wishers trying to persuade Patil never aligned with BJP. Chinese engineers come under attack in Pakistan's Balochistan. 4 Chinese nationals among 13 killed in attack, say reports. Well, welcome back, friends. From the national capital to the Jammu and Kashmir, it's a wave of Tricolor. Republic even showed you videos of active terrorist families unfurling Tiranga. But there are some politicizing the patriotism. The negativity brigade, as Prime Minister calls them, find fault in everything. While Jammu and Kashmir witnessed the Tiranga rally, Mehbooba Mufti was quick to draw a Nehru comparison. Here are the developments before we debate.
Ahead of Independence Day, patriotic fervor has gripped Jammu and Kashmir. In Dachan area of Kishtwar district, the family of Hizbul A++ category terrorist Mudassir Ahmed unfurled the national flag.
हमने झंडा लगाया इस घर में तमाम कौम को मैं दावत देता हूँ हर घर पर ये तिरंगा होना चाहिए बाकी मुदस्सिर हमारा लड़का मैं उसका फादर हूँ वो गलत रास्ते पर निकला हूँ गलत इशारों पर चलता है हमने बड़ी कोशिश की है उसके ढूंढने में वो कहीं नहीं हमारे हाथ में हम गवर्नमेंट को इल्तिजा करते हैं वो जल्द उसके ढूंढ कर लाई और हमारे खलासी हो जाए.
In Sopore, the brother of an active terrorist has hoisted the Tiranga.
वो पॉलिटिशियन अलग है उन्होंने यहाँ का मुस्तकबिल ख़त्म किया चाहे नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हो चाहे PDP हो चाहे कोई कुछ भी हो उन्होंने यहाँ के जो नौजवान यूथ है तबाह किया उन्हीं की वजह से ये पॉलिटिशियन चल रही है अभी लोग बढ़ रहे लिख रहे अभी सोच रहे लोग ठीक क्या है गलत क्या है आज लोगों को पता है ठीक क्या है गलत क्या है आज वो ज़माना नहीं रहा अगर आप पाकिस्तान की बात करोगे तो वहाँ तो कुछ नहीं है वहाँ के लोग कंगाल है वहाँ के चीफ मिनिस्टर कंगाल है वहाँ की एडमिशन सारी कंगाल है उससे तो बेहतर इंडिया ही है और देखो दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है इस वक्त.
The ground reality of Kashmir has changed.
कश्मीर आतंकवाद की आग में दिन रात सुलग रहा था जलता था लेकिन कांग्रेस सरकार का काम कश्मीर के आम नागरिकों पर विश्वास नहीं था वे विश्वास करते थे हुर्रियत पर वे विश्वास करते थे अलगवादियों के पर भारत ने आतंकवाद पर सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक किया भारत ने एयर स्ट्राइक किया इनको भारत की सेना पर भरोसा नहीं था, उनको दुश्मन के दावों पर भरोसा था।
Slogans of Meri Mitti Mera Desh have replaced the separatist agenda peddled by a few. But for some in the Gupkar gang, nothing has changed. Mehbooba Mufti continues to mock a post-terror 2023 by drawing comparisons to 1949. This is a Naya Kashmir. Is Mehbooba Mufti disconnected with this new Kashmir? Let's debate.
All right, friends, joining me on this debate, Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. He's joining us live from Mumbai. Also, Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow of the Observer Research Foundation. He's joining us live from Delhi. We also have Sushil Pandit, columnist and activist, joining us live from London. A very active, proactive and reasoned Kashmiri Pandit voice. And of course, expertise on Kashmir. I am also joined in by Suman Siraman. He leans towards the Congress party, political analyst, live from Chennai. In a bit, I am told we would be joined in by Farooq Inqalabi, leader of the PDP, live from Srinagar. I would have actually wanted to begin with him, but let me begin with Ahmed Ayaz. He's political analyst, also joining us live from Srinagar. Ahmed Ayaz Saab, is Mehbooba Mufti in denial? The fact is, or the facts on the ground have actually changed, but Mehbooba refuses to listen. That seems to be the case with that tweet that she has come out with today, trying to compare 1949 with 2023.
She has a point to say because this flag hosting has been done in Jammu and Kashmir also as a normal activity even before 90 and even after 90 till date it used to be done. I don't think anybody will say from any corner that during even from 92 up till now flag hosting was not being done. It was being done, but this also cannot be denied that 90 onwards there have been no difficulties, abnormalcy, and there were, you could not do it so normal and so smooth as it was being done earlier. To that extent, Mehbooba Mufti is right by saying that earlier we were doing it without securities, we were doing it as a normal activity, and today it's being done under security cover and all everything. And this question would not have perhaps come had the normalcy not been claimed. We don't see that there is not a change. There is definitely a change, but when it is claimed that there is absolute normalcy, then question is arise. If there is a normalcy, then why a flag hosting under restrictions, under security covers? Definitely these questions arise. If you say there is absolutely normal and then there is no security required, the flag hosting should be done as it was being done earlier before 90. But when you say there is an abnormalcy, then definitely all these things are required. But question is, when you say there, when you claim there is a normalcy, then these things are not required, and to that extent I believe Mehbooba Mufti is right to that extent.
Okay, Mehbooba Mufti is right. Is she that innocent? Is it that simple, Sushil Pandit? Because it seems behind the Nehru picture, Mehbooba Mufti is trying to show that Pandit Nehru stood in front of two flags. Now there is only one. I think that's the grudge, that's the gripe insofar as Mehbooba Mufti is concerned. It's not that innocent, Sushil Pandit.
Precisely, Abhishek. Nehru represents politics of concessions, politics of making exceptions, politics of accommodating separatism, politics of giving fillip to separatism under the guise of subnationalism, subnationalist politics, creating democratic spaces for jihad. These were the rationalizations for accommodating separatists in Kashmir. Because this lifeline has been choked, because there is no more concession, no more exceptionalism practiced for the separatists, because they are no more given sops and paid ransom to, she recalls Nehru era with such fondness. You mustn't forget, she was the one who said there won't be pallbearers for the tricolor in Kashmir if you remove 370. She even today demands that 370 be restored. Now the problem is, where do these characters get the gumption, get the courage to say these things in this country? It is because in Kashmir, some of or a lot of such system, this infrastructure of gun and terror is intact. It has gone subterranean. They have taken a few steps back. They are not engaging with our security forces anymore as blatantly, as brazenly as they used to, because their patron Pakistan is in bad state, because in the center in India, there is a government which will not tolerate this nonsense. So they are conserving their firepower, they are conserving their lives, they are waiting for a better time to come so that they can re-emerge and strike again at will, which is why there are security forces. Let us not kid ourselves. If she's taunting us for security forces, it is because their capacity to go for target killing has not been completely eroded. Their capacity for mischief is still lying dormant somewhere, waiting for a better time to come. And our system, our government, our leadership must ensure that these favorable times are used to completely dismantle jihad in Kashmir. Mere symbolism of tirangas will not bring security. The security about which
I'll come to that.
Us time and again.
I'll come to that. You know, I'm told PDP's Farooq Inqilabi has joined us, and I want to ask Farooq, आप ये बताएं कि महबूबा मुफ्ती denial में है क्या? Is she motivated to just muddy the waters? Is she attention seeking? Or is she disconnected with the ground? Because she tweets trying to push a no normalcy narrative on a day when families who have active terrorists, they are hoisting tricolor from their rooftops in Kishtwar in Jammu and Sopore in Kashmir. Is Mehbooba Mufti absolutely disconnected from the ground, Farooq Sahab?
देखिए सर, मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि इस वक्त जो हालात जम्मू कश्मीर में है, बीजेपी हैज प्लंज्ड J&K इनटू अनप्रेसिडेंटेड पॉलिटिकल अनसर्टेनिटी। महबूबा मुफ्ती साहिबा ने अगर कुछ इस वक्त कहा है, कोई उसकी स्टेटमेंट है आज की डेट में जिसपे आज इतना बड़ा बवाल पूरे हिंदुस्तान में है, महबूबा मुफ्ती की स्टेटमेंट बहुत बुरी लगती है और ज्यादातर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों को बुरी लगती है जिन्होंने जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों के साथ जुल्म किया है। I strongly endorse statement of our party president Mehbooba Mufti Sahiba. What she said, she rightly said that BJP is disturbing peace in all over the country, particularly BJP is suppressing our voice.
BJP is disturbing peace, not Pakistan. Is that the PDP narrative? Is that the PDP line that BJP is disturbing peace in Kashmir, not Pakistan?
No, whatever Pakistan wants to do in India, BJP workers, BJP leaders are doing already in India. The communal violence in New.
That's a big charge you are making, Farooq Inqilabi.
Pakistan wants to disturb peace.
Tohin, you would want to respond? It's a direct charge on you.
RSS leaders or Bajrang Dal leaders.
Good evening, Abhishek.
Are already disturbing peace in country.
Good evening, Abhishek. Yeah, allow me to comment.
It's a big charge leveled against you, Tohin.
Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Farooq Inqilabi is saying, Farooq Inqilabi of the PDP, Tohin, he is saying that BJP is doing what Pakistan intends to happen in India. That's a big charge. Okay, go ahead.
let me respond to that. You know, Abhishek, Mehbooba Mufti had blocked me from Twitter some three years ago. So fortunately, I'm saved of the atrocity of having to go through her tweets. But the fact is that she refuses to grow out of her Jeeve Pakistan mentality even after the abrogation of Article 370, which has removed all the impediments in the that were holding back Kashmir's complete. Is there a problem with the mic? So I think Mehbooba Mufti's frustration is understandable. Mehbooba Mufti's frustration is understandable. She was the one who said at one point of time that if you remove Article 370, there won't be a single person to unfurl the tricolor. Today, every house in the valley
Farooq Inqilabi, let Tohin respond. Farooq Inqilabi, let Tohin respond, then I'll come back to you.
Mehbooba Mufti
Tohin, continue.
Go back in history instead of mentioning Nehru, she must invoke the sacrifice of Maqbool Sherwani, the braveheart who stood for a good 4 to 5 days in Baramulla in 1947 to hold back the Pakistani invaders. She should draw some inspiration from him. But instead, even today, she continues to bat for Pakistan, and that is where the problem lies. And she refuses to even understand that her alienation, even within her constituents in Kashmir, is complete.
Why BJP was in power with Mehbooba Mufti Sahiba? They share power in Jammu and Kashmir more than 3 years.
I will answer that to you once and for all. I will answer that to you once and for all. That was an error of judgment. But if you go back to the 2015 assembly results, it was an unusually truncated. Please don't, keep meddling in between. That was an unusually truncated assembly results where PDP had won 28 seats. We had won 25 seats in an 81-member assembly. If we had not supported you, there would have been another election which would more or less have thrown similar results. We wanted to align you guys to the idea of our nationalism, but when we realized that it was impossible, we walked out. Abhishek, this was in contrast to the Aghadi government, which continued to be in power with 3 very disparate forces only to extort people in Maharashtra. We sacrificed a government in Kashmir in national interest when we realized that people like you could never align to a nationalist thought process, and all the development initiatives that we had initiated in Kashmir was being undone by your pro-Pakistan mindset.
The voice of people of Jammu and Kashmir, and from last 5 years.
I think so. Tohin, what Farooq Inqilabi seems to be suggesting is, he's actually giving you a lot of power. He's saying that BJP still can do a lot. I don't know whether he's suggesting that you can come back to an alliance with him. But Sushant Sareen, I was going through Mehbooba Mufti's Twitter timeline, the X timeline as it is called now. And there seems to be a very concerted attempt at pushing this no normalcy narrative. Every opportunity is used, every occasion is used to try to show that, what the central government, what the LG administration is saying about things getting back to normal in Kashmir is not right. To the extent of, trying to project, she was put under house arrest on a day when you had Omar Abdullah walking freely on the streets of Srinagar.
So, Abhishek, a couple of things. Number one, I think it's important to acknowledge, I'm glad that Tohin did not try and brush the inconvenient reality of a Faustian alliance which they had made with the PDP. And I'm glad that the BJP acknowledges that it was an error of judgment. And personally, I would think that it would have been better if they had gone in for a fresh election, rather than having debased themselves by aligning with a party like PDP, in which Mehbooba Mufti had never, even when her father was the chief minister, she continued to indulge in soft separatism. So I think the BJP should have understood where she comes from. Secondly, it's strange of Mr. Inqilabi to say that BJP has created uncertainty and an atmosphere of violence in Kashmir. Under Mehbooba Mufti's watch, there were terrorists like Burhan Wani running amok, and and Mehbooba Mufti as chief minister used to, and these are very serious allegations which people have put against her, that she used to run with the hare and hunt with the hound. She used to protect the separatists, the Jamaat-e-Islami and the other despicables in Kashmir, and at the same time enjoy the loaves and fishes of office. She was somebody who used to soft pedal action against terrorists like Burhan Wani and others, and at the same time pretend that she was, the chief minister of a state. But she was always playing the separatist card.
Yeah.
So this wasn't that causing uncertainty, wasn't that causing violence. Number three. 1 second. Yaar, ab aap bol rahe the, aap chup rahe na.
Farooq, I'll come to you. Farooq, I'll come to you.
Let me have my say.
Farooq Inqilabi ji, I'll come to you. Farooq Inqilabi ji, I'll come to you. Let Sushant complete.
The guy.
It's okay. Farooq has understood. Farooq, आप रुक जाएं. आपके पास मैं आऊँगा फिर से. मैं आऊँगा फिर से आपके पास. Farooq, सुशांत को बोलने में.
He should learn to keep quiet and listen, and then can say. When he was talking, everybody else kept quiet.
He has pulled back.
There is a lot of hair splitting that Ayaz Saab was doing on this whole question of normalcy, and I'll segue to your question after I say this. This hair splitting over what is normalcy. For example, the Prime Minister in Delhi, which is very normal, has to go with security. There will be a security cover on Red Fort. Are you saying Delhi is not normal? There is a certain condition, there are certain threat perceptions. People go with security, there are security covers given. For example, Mehbooba Mufti for the longest used to get security. When she was chief minister, why did she have security if it was normal at that point of time? Now I'll come down to what your question, Abhishek. The bottom line is that most of the traditional political parties in Kashmir, unless they are reconstructed in their own unreconstructed way, abhor normalcy in Kashmir. They find relevance in Kashmir when Kashmir is not normal. What they do is that they peddle this separatist thing at one level, they suck up to the separatists at one level, and at the same time use that politics to then extract concessions and blackmail the rest of the country. That politics of blackmail has started ending with the constitutional reforms which took place in 2019. And I don't know why you and everybody else keep saying abrogation of 370. 370 has not been abrogated. 370 is a part of the constitution. 370 has only been amended under a constitutional reforms package. So I think we should be very careful of the language which we use, because otherwise it gives very negative connotations to what happened in Kashmir in 2019. And if the reforms which have taken place have dented the politics of these soft separatists, people who are playing on all sides, then so much the better for it. Kashmir will be much better off. Now, because people are holding the Tiranga, does that mean everything will be hunky-dory? No. But this is part of a process of mainstreaming Kashmir, bringing the Kashmiris back into the national mainstream and ending that sense of separatism that has been nurtured in Kashmir right from 1947.
Absolutely. Before I get Sumansi Raman, and he has to still make his opening comment, and I want to get Ahmad Ayaz also, but before that, quickly, Sushil Pandit, since we are having this conversation on Mehbooba as of now, just continuing from where Sushant left. I mean, he said that, people like Mehbooba have this habit of hunting with the hound, running with the hare. But the fact of the matter is, Hurriyat is gone. The Jamaat is not what it used to be. So what kind of pressure, or under whose pressure Mehbooba really is?
This is, about, as they say, a leopard will never change its spots. Her entire politics from the day one was built on peddling separatism. She was so mixed up with Hizbul Mujahideen that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, addressing a public meeting in Kashmir, did not let her climb the stage when her own father was the chief minister who had invited the prime minister to Kashmir. She was so completely mixed up with the underground movement. And that mindset carried on. As chief minister, she would go to the houses of fallen militants with compensation. Can you believe this? When Burhan Wani was killed, she took 5 lakh check of compensation to Muzaffar Hussain Wani, his father. She transferred the police officers involved in the encounter. Instead of rewarding them, she punish them. Such was her rule that despite AFSPA, she had FIR slapped against army officers for defending themselves. Now, such a chief minister with this kind of record, what do you expect? It is our misfortune that such politicians do not face the consequences of their actions, and which is why they stay bold and they stay brazen in pursuing this politics. I remember on August 5 and 6 in 2019 in the parliament, the Home Minister and the Prime Minister on the floor of the House had put grave charges against them, accused them of massive fraud. Where are the FIRs? Where is the prosecution? Where are the consequences for those frauds? For defrauding our country of such huge hundreds of crores of corruption, of their connections with the underground. They should face the consequences because
I'm sure Sushil Pandit.
Their politics, Abhishek, just half a minute. Because their subversive politics is a risk-free enterprise. They've never faced the consequences. They will continue to pursue it.
Well,
that is why they continue to pursue it.
I'm sure not anymore, Sushil Pandit. Not anymore, Sushil Pandit. While earlier we had the system of buying peace, now peace is enforced. While earlier we had indulgence with the terrorist, now we have indulgence with the people. And on that note, let me get in Sumansi Raman. Sumansi Raman, if you listen to Sushil Pandit, Sushant Sareen, you had a picture of Mehbooba Mufti really being absolutely pro-separatist even now. Now, since Mehbooba is an ally in the INDIA, which is led by the Congress party, what, according to you, is the position or should the position of the Congress party be? Mehbooba, just 2 days before Independence Day, is trying to push a two-flag narrative. It's really unfortunate that the Congress party should be seen to be standing with that.
Abhishek, I'm completely confused, Abhishek. Mr. Pandit, spoke for 2.5 minutes about the sins and the acts of omission and commission of Mehbooba Mufti as the chief minister. Well, the BJP was the one that made her the chief minister. She wouldn't have been.
To which Tuhin Sinha has already responded. I'm just anticipating your attack. Tuhin has already responded about the alliance.
I mean, look, what does it say? If you know that someone has separatist tendencies and you still want to go and have an electoral alliance just for the sake of power, it doesn't speak very well, does it? I mean, clearly that is something which is something that the BJP will find it very difficult to live down. I'm glad that Mr. Sushant Sareen at least accepted that it was a mistake. Now, the point is the situation as clearly explained by Mr. Manoj Sinha a few days ago, where he said over the last 5 years, 1,020 odd, militants and 319 of our brave security forces have lost their lives. So while we can now take the figures from the previous years and say that these numbers are lower, we are a far cry from claiming that quote unquote normalcy has returned. And I think that we should not kid ourselves when you have more than 400,000 troops and paramilitary forces maintaining the peace there to even sort of make a claim that normalcy.
Are you suggesting what Kapil Sibal suggested in the court? Are you suggesting that we should have? Are you even remotely suggesting that the army is not needed there, Sumant Raman?
Not at all. Not at all. A day must come when there is genuine peace and there is no need for the military to be stationed there or in any other part of the country. That is really what peace would actually mean. Where
you're sidestepping my question. My question was, what's your view of Mehbooba's position? No, you seem to be in agreement. That's what you should be saying then, that you are in agreement with what Mehbooba is saying. You fully agree with her. While the BJP's association with Mehbooba was in the past, yours is in the present. And while the BJP says that it was an error of judgment, you seem to be owning it up.
I am saying those who are saying that Kashmir is normal today and normalcy has returned following the quote unquote, the law which abrogated / removed the applicability of Article 370 are not actually being realistic. All my point is very simple. Several years after this has happened, normalcy is yet to return to Kashmir. We still have not had, the major political parties are all claiming, still insisting on a rollback, and the matter is still before the Supreme Court. So I don't know what these huge gains that we
are you suggesting that 370 should be rolled back? 370 abrogation should be rolled back?
Parties are saying that. I'm not saying that. The major political parties are saying that. Mehbooba Mufti is saying that.
Including the Congress?
Umar
is that the
Abdullah
official position? I think the Congress has been very ambivalent about it.
I'm not the spokesperson.
Congress has been officially ambivalent about it.
Abhishek. No, I'm not a spokesperson for Congress, so I cannot give the official position of the party. All I'm trying to say is the major regional parties in Kashmir are still standing, asking for
what is not normal? Sumant Raman, what is not normal? There is an absolute normalcy and there is absolute no normalcy. There is something called relative normalcy. And in a situation like Kashmir, hold on. You gave your position, hold on. I am just giving you some facts.
Are you saying it's
normal? In a situation like Kashmir,
for me it's not.
If stone pelting stops, if every week on Friday, the Friday prayers, the sermons, the Jummah prayers are happening without an incident of stone pelting, if schools are running, if the government of the day is saving 200 plus crore rupees per year on the Darbar move because of the modernization and digitalization that has happened, if there is a booming tourist season, is it not return of normalcy, even if relative normalcy? Ahmad Ayaz, you were saying no, Mehbooba is right, but these parameters, are they not indicative of return of normalcy, Ahmad Ayaz?
See, we talk of the period when we have seen normalcy without any restriction as is being laid now. One. Second, as said rightly by Raman, that the parameters of this normalcy should be, one of the parameters should be that there must not be, security seen in the markets, on the roads.
Are we comparing apples to oranges here?
It should be like any other state.
Are we comparing apples to oranges here?
Talking to you, then you have.
Are we comparing apples to oranges? Between 1949 and 2023, there was 1989.
It's not happening. No, you two have to accept that it's not happening.
Are we forgetting that between 1949 and 2023, there have been 2 decades of terror in the valley? Pakistan-backed terrorism.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Can you imagine?
We know that.
Ahmad Ayaz, today, the family of Javed Mattu in Sopore, what they have said, I am just quoting. Listen, Ahmad Ayaz, the family of Javed Mattu, who's a Hizbul terrorist, who's in Pakistan, who's active, they have said that Pakistan is a destroyed country and they are misusing the youth in the valley to further destroy Kashmir. That's what the family of a terrorist is saying. Just imagine the situation where a family which has paid a huge price understands what Pakistan is doing and Mehbooba Mufti does not. Is it possible?
Abhishek, we also know that it is not that a normalcy as it's being claimed. We also know that. But the point is, when it is said that it's a normalcy, then it becomes a questionable thing. It is not that normal as it's being claimed. We have to, you have to also accept that had that been so normal, then perhaps security would not have been required in such a large number. Then the security would not have been required to hoist a flag in a certain city.
What's going to bring better normalcy according to you?
The head of the state.
No, what according to you is going to bring better normalcy?
Yeah,
since 2018. About 35,000 punches, sarpanches, etc. have been elected. Thousands of punches and sarpanches have been elected. Planned allocation of panchayats, which is true measure of democracy, first time perhaps a 3-tier panchayat mechanism in place in Kashmir. The allocation for the panchayats in 2020-21 was 5,000 crores plus, which is now 12,000 plus crore, which became 12,000 plus crore rupees in 2021-22. Increased to 22,000 crores now. That money is going for the benefit of people of Kashmir. That money is going into the valley. That money is making a difference to grassroots democracy. Is that not normal? Is that being grudged by the likes of Mehbooba Mufti Ahmad Ayaz?
You see, I don't think anybody would deny that the Kashmir is the highest militarized zone right now. The maximum security is posted there in Kashmir. If it is normalcy, then why it should be there? Why it is not there in Delhi? Why it is not there in Punjab or Haryana? You see, so far as stone pelting is concerned,
Sushant, he's saying, oh, everything is fine, but then there is security. Same was the argument of Sumant Raman, Sushant, that, oh, everything is fine, but there are 400,000 army soldiers there. I mean, are we really missing the elephant in the room, which is Pakistan and Mehbooba Mufti pandering to that narrative? Really?
Abhishek, number one, the number of army soldiers present in Kashmir is not 400,000. The total number of security forces present in Kashmir is 400,000.
Yes,
number one. Number two, in Tamil Nadu, for example, the strength of the Tamil Nadu police is, I think, about 130,000. And in addition, there will be some paramilitary forces. Is the situation in Tamil Nadu normal or abnormal? Obviously, it's normal, right? And they would, of course, there will be army also present in Tamil Nadu. So you can, one second, let me just finish my point. So the total strength of the army, police, security personnel would be about 200,000. Now, why do you need this force out there in Tamil Nadu? Everything is so normal.
Abhishek, I would respond
so I think, this definition of normalcy which Mr. Ayaz is using is completely disingenuous. The fact of the matter remains that there is a terrorism problem in Kashmir.
No. The fact is, Sushant,
the fact is, let me just finish.
For the first time in 33 years, and I had some community members really come crying and tell me that this is the first time in their life they have seen a Muharram procession. This is the first time in 33 years that a Muharram procession could be held. Is that not normal, Ahmad Ayaz?
I think, can I refute what
No, I would respond. Before that, I would respond, Mr. Sushant. Then, Mr. Sushant, when you compare Tamil Nadu with that of Kashmir, but the difference being, well, even if there is security, but that may be in the barracks, that may not be on the roads. You will have, during the day itself, you will find security, CRPF and other paramilitary forces checking on the roadside every now and then. You will find barracks, you will find bunkers everywhere. It is not that there in the what you call Tamil Nadu and anywhere.
Can I finish what I started saying?
All around the country.
I don't finish what I started saying. Otherwise,
I don't see what is happening in Kashmir.
Hold on.
Happening in other parts of this country.
Tamil Nadu police is about
I don't say the way
hold on. Let Sushant complete. I'll come to you, Sumant Raman.
Abhishek, can I comment finally?
What is he
I
talking
understand
about?
you are peeved because Tamil Nadu is mentioned, but let Sushant complete. Sushant, quickly. I'm seeing Tuhin also raise his finger. I go to Tuhin, but before that, Sushant, quickly complete.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point, please.
You interrupted me before I made my point. Now, if you want to go ahead, go ahead. But I don't want to engage in a debate like this.
The other gentleman interrupted.
You said what you had to say. I was rebutting you, but you want to interfere in my rebuttal.
I only want to point out that Tamil Nadu has a population of 8
Go ahead, Sushant, go ahead.
110,000 police for 8 crore people is not the same as 4 lakh military plus paramilitary plus police for a population of 1.25 crores. I mean, if this is not obvious, I don't know.
But my question, Sushant, question was, is Sumant Raman, Ahmad Ayaz and Farooq Inkalabi making the mistake of, and Mehbooba Mufti, of course, perhaps indulging with that narrative, the elephant in the room, Pakistan, and that's the special situation in Kashmir, which we have to keep in mind. Normalcy has to be relative to that fact.
Yeah, Abhishek, can I just finish my point? I made the point which Sumant Raman has taken very personal. Point I was trying to make is, in a place like Kashmir, don't only look at the valley, you have to look at the entire state or the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir as it is constituted right now. If there are 400,000 troops, there is an active border with Pakistan out there, isn't there? Do you have an active border in Tamil Nadu? So you have to have more troops out there. Number one. Number two, did I say that the terrorism problem has been completely eliminated? Of course, there is a terrorism problem in Kashmir. And of course, you have to ensure that security is maintained. Now, what is your definition of normalcy? Is normalcy that there is no security force anywhere? That is what I'm challenging. I am saying that the security forces are there to ensure normalcy, and the normalcy is visible on the streets. Could you see the kind of scenes that you are seeing in the streets of Jammu and Kashmir today? Could you see this in 2016, 2017, 2018? Could you? Did you see the kind of vibrancy there is in Kashmir today? Could you see it in 2015, 2016 when the stone pelting was going on? Could you do it?
Exactly.
Could Mr. Ayaz walk and not be challenged by a 10-year-old guy who would insult him? Now, if Mr. Ayaz thinks this is an abnormal situation today because security force personnel are present to ensure no untoward incident takes place, he says this is abnormal situation. I find that a bizarre argument, but I'm not surprised that Raman is backing this argument.
Abhishek, it is.
No, with all respect.
Quickly,
to,
Ahmad Ayaz, quickly before I go to Tuhin.
I don't know whether he is aware of the ground realities. Mr. Sushant in Kashmir,
I'm coming to Sushil Pandit.
Is always
can I comment finally? It is very clear.
Tuhin, I'm coming to you. Ahmad Ayaz is rebutting Sushant Sareen. I'm coming to you, Tuhin.
Yeah.
So what I was going to mention about Mr. Sushant, that maybe there are security forces more everywhere, but here in Kashmir, CRPF and the security forces are more active, which is not anywhere in the country. They are active on the roads. They are active everywhere, morning till evening. It is nowhere in the country.
That's because Pakistan-backed terrorists are active and they have to be nail controlled. And that's what's happened. They have been taken underground by the force, by the sheer might of our forces, Ahmad Ayaz. That's the reason why today you have 6 towns in Kashmir Valley having cinemas where movies are run well past 9 p.m. like rest of India. That's normalcy. You are in denial like Mehbooba Mufti, Ahmad Ayaz.
But well, when you say that there is a terrorism, then you have to agree situation is abnormal. Situation is not that normal as it is otherwise, as it's anywhere else. That's what we say. Situation is not that normal as is being claimed.
Sushil Pandit, this seems like a round. This seems like a.
You see,
this seems like an argument which is being taken into rounds. You see, because there is army, it's not normal. Army is there because there are terrorists, so obviously there is terrorism.
Yes.
How do you respond to that? I mean, for Ahmad Ayaz, it's not normal that for the first time in 30 years you have cinema halls running in small towns like Pulwama and Handwara in Kashmir. For Ahmad Ayaz, it's not normal that schools are running and that there is no stone pelting.
Yes, Abhishek, because there is a systematic rollback of what was spread all over Kashmir in the last 30 years that he is resenting. Because they were cashing in on, they were milking this abnormalcy all over the world, that they are resenting the fact, they are contesting the fact that some of those most visible symbols of lack of normalcy or lack of order, lack of peace, they are resenting it today. Let me give you another perspective. Kashmir, when it became abnormal, the first fallout was expulsion of Hindus from there, the genocide of Hindus, lock, stock and barrel. Okay? Thereafter, schools were burnt, markets were shut, there was Hartal calendar, but offices were burnt, there was irregular attendance in the offices, they were not functioning normally. All this was happening, even the annual features like tourism and Amarnath Yatra was disrupted. Now today, if the criteria of normalcy is that markets must open and shut at times, schools and colleges must run normally, traffic must run normally on the roads without any obstructions, and offices must run, it is happening. if tourism season must pass off peacefully and his Amarnath Yatra must pass off without casualties, these 6 criteria, 4 plus 2, if that is the criteria for normalcy, it is normal. But the litmus test of normalcy is when abnormalcy happened, Hindus had to be taken out. They had to go away. Have Hindus returned to the valley? No. They left the valley.
That's a question Tohen has to answer. That's a question Tohen has to answer. Tohen, I will add mine. For the absolute normalcy narrative to come, and I say that this is relative normalcy. For the absolute normalcy relative to come, the test case would be, as Sushil Pandit says, that the Kashmiri Pandits have to come back. Also, can the BJP be a little more transparent about when the elections are going to be held?
They have not yet returned, yes.
Well, Abhishek, you need to give me some time because I've been hearing for a very long time. For Sumant C. Raman and Mehbooba Mufti, they have a dystopian mindset. Their idea of normalcy was stone pelters thriving. Their idea of normalcy was bloodshed all around. In fact, today's grouse of Mehbooba Mufti is centered around the fact that there is no bloodshed because of the security forces. So I don't understand why. I don't find. You guys consider that normal. We consider Kashmir has never been normal. Kashmir has never been more normal than it is today. Kashmir has never been more normal than it is today. The entertainment opportunities, the employment opportunities, the G20 summits vouch for that fact. Now, when it comes to Hindus coming back to the valley, it is going to happen in due course of time. That is work in progress. But like you said, people like Mehbooba Mufti have to be weeded out of the system entirely till such time they are there. They will behave like snakes. They will continue to harm India's interests. So I think sooner than later, it's a matter of time. We are 75%, I would say, we are 3/4 done with the, in our journey towards elections. Sooner than later, the elections will happen. Yeah.
Tohen.
When?
Yes, Abhishek.
Yeah, elections would happen. Maybe you could give a timeline. But,
when?
There seems to be a case of Mehbooba Mufti losing ground beneath her feet.
Something the Election Commission has to take a final call on the dates. But that will happen when we are convinced.
Yeah, but the enabler has to come from the central government. The enabler has to come from the central government, which is of your party.
Mehbooba Mufti also have a responsibility. Today, the Indy Alliance should also make it clear whether they support Mehbooba Mufti's pro-Pakistan statements. In fact, Mamata Banerjee at one point of time last year wanted Farooq Abdullah to be the presidential candidate. So look at the mentality of the entire Indy
Sumant Raman never responded to that. I asked him, Mehbooba Mufti is an ally. Do you endorse her soft on Pakistan approach?
Look, if the BJP endorsed her a few years ago, I don't see how the India Alliance should or should not endorse her. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. It's very, very simple. You can't, unless Mehbooba Mufti had
we gave her many chances to align herself with our nationalist mindset. She refused. We sacrificed that government. Something which you guys are incapable of. We sacrificed our government.
You are giving her an opportunity to prove her nationalistic credentials by aligning with her.
Okay.
Knowing fully well.
No, Sumant Raman, BJP made a mistake. You could be smarter and learn from their mistake actually. But then I have a more substantive argument to make. It's likely that Mehbooba Mufti is attention seeking, and there is a reason why she would want to do that. Because it seems that she's losing the ground beneath her feet. An example of which is that last month, her party brought out a questionnaire, a survey, so to say, online, not on the ground, online. And it said, inviting applications from those who want to contest elections, but outside of party structure. Of course, Mehbooba Mufti is looking London, talking Tokyo, because it seems she's also preparing for Panchayat elections. And because she does not think that there would be enough people to contest on her party or within the organization structure, Ahmad Ayaz, she's coming out with a survey, okay, are you willing to contest outside of party structure? And this is an online survey, which means effectively that PDP is not having much traction on the ground.
we don't say no, she's a politician. She may also try to play politics, because we don't say that it's as normal for her also. She will definitely try to play politics, and she may be doing it. We don't say no. And likewise, when she plays the politics by saying that things are not that normal, and here also on the other side, politics is being played by saying that things are so very normal. I mean, both ways it's a politics. Politics should, I hear...
Sushant Sareen, tape atak gaya. Ahmed Ayaz ka tape atak gaya, Sushant Sareen.
All creation of the
normal hai, nahi hai, normal hai, nahi hai.
So,
yeah, look, right at the outset, I said, somebody needs
it is all creation of the politicians and political class. I do agree.
So Abhishek, here is the thing.
Okay, you agree sometimes, you agree sometimes, you don't.
Of normalcy, right? What is the definition of normalcy? And until your definition of normalcy is a standard definition, you can't really define what is happening in Kashmir. Now, in the case of Mr. Ayaz, what is happening is that his definition of normalcy is rather fungible. So depending on what serves his purpose at what point of time, he keeps shifting the definition. In the case of Mr. Suman, I'm shocked that if the BJP made a mistake, and thankfully the BJP realizes that it made a mistake, right? It thought it was being too clever by half when it struck an alliance with PDP, and perhaps, the circumstances of the time were that, okay, maybe they'll be able to...
He has already called it an error. Tohin has already called it an error of judgment.
Yeah, exactly. But having said that, is it necessary that the Congress party or the so-called INDIA alliance needs to make the very same mistakes which the BJP has made? And if your standard bearer of what is good for the goose is good for the gander, is that everything which the BJP does is good enough for the Congress party or for the INDIA
that's what I said. That's why I said, Sumant Raman, the Congress party could be smarter, learn from the mistakes of the BJP and not indulge with this Pakistan narrative. But I'm running out of time. I have to end this debate with two observations made by the Supreme Court of the country. Sumant Raman, I'm really running out of time. I have to make these. I have to bring in these important points. That's why. Supreme Court.
BJP is actually quickly of mistakes being repeated by the Congress party, which the BJP has made. The last 9 years have been spent in saying, did the Congress not do the same thing that we have done? Or what did the Congress do there? What did the Congress do somewhere else?
Well, Sumant Raman, you see, the mistakes of the Congress versus mistakes of the BJP is going to be a subject of another debate. Not the first time that we will be doing it, but I have to end this conversation with two very important observations made by the topmost court of the country, which is hearing Article 370 case, which is integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India was not conditional but absolute. And the Jammu and Kashmir constitution is not mentioned anywhere in the Constitution of India, and the only document binding on the Constitution of India is the Constitution of India. On that note, thank you so much, Sushil Pandit, Sushant Sareen, Tohin Sinha, Ahmed Ayaz, and Sumant Raman for joining us. I would have wanted more questions to be answered by PDP's Farooq Inqilabi. Unfortunately, because of a bad line, we couldn't get him. Thank you so much.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
घर घर तिरंगा, हर घर तिरंगा। घर घर तिरंगा, रथ घर तिरंगा।
Massive response to Prime Minister's Har Ghar Tiranga call. Tricolor celebrated across the country. Tiranga rallies held. Glimpse of changing narrative in the valley. Brother and family of terrorists hoist the Tiranga. Naya Kashmir also says Har Ghar Tiranga. But negativity brigade is still at it. Mehbooba Mufti Politicises the Tiranga campaign, draws Nehru comparison. A day after meeting Ajit Pawar, Sharad Pawar says well-wishers are trying to persuade, but he will never align with the BJP. And Chinese engineers come under terror attack in Pakistan's Balochistan. 4 Chinese nationals among the 13 killed in the attack. Viewers, from Delhi to Jammu and Kashmir, it's a tricolor wave, and this same wave of patriotism has gripped the Kashmir Valley as well. Not only was a Tiranga rally held today in the Union Territory, Republic TV in fact has accessed videos from Sopore and Kishtwar which shows terrorists' brothers and family hoisting the tricolor at their houses. While the first video is from Sopore, where the brother of an active terrorist, Javed Mattu's brother, hoisted the national flag. On the other side, you have the video from Kishtwar, where a family of the top Hizbul commander, Mudassir Ahmad, unfurled the tricolor. In fact, Republic TV has exclusively spoken to the brother of Javed Mattu in Sopore. Take a listen in.
पर हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जो कि एक एक्टिव मिलिटेंट अभी हैं, उसके भाई हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए मौजूद हैं, जिन्होंने आज अपने घर में तिरंगा लहराया है। आप मुझे बताइए, आपने क्या विचार लेके इस तिरंगे को अपने घर में होस्ट किया आज?
मैंने दिल से लगाया है, मैंने दिल से लगाया, क्योंकि हम हिंदुस्तानी थे, है और रहेंगे।
आप मुझे बताइए, आपको कुछ डर तो नहीं लगा ये लगाने में, जैसा आपका एक भाई जो है?
किस बात का डर है? हमारे यहाँ 16 लाख फौजी है, वो हमारी हिफाजत के लिए, हमें किस चीज का डर है?
आप मानते हैं वो सारे हिफाजत के लिए?
हमारी हिफाजत के लिए, हमें किस चीज का डर है?
उसके साथ अगर बात करें, यहाँ पे महबूबा मुफ्ती ने जहाँ वो टारगेट करते हैं इसी ट्राइकलर को, जिसको आपने आज होस्ट किया, क्या कहना चाहेंगे इसमें?
वो पॉलिटिशियन अलग है, उन्होंने यहाँ का मुस्तकबिल खत्म किया है, चाहे नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हो, चाहे PDP हो, चाहे कोई कुछ भी हो, उन्होंने यहाँ के जो नौजवान यूथ है तबाह किया। उन्हीं की वजह से ये पॉलिटिशियन चल रही है। अभी लोग बढ़ रहे, लिख रहे, अभी सोच रहे लोग ठीक क्या है, गलत क्या है। आज लोगों को पता है ठीक क्या है, गलत क्या है। आज वो जमाना नहीं रहा। अगर आप पाकिस्तान की बात करोगे तो वहाँ तो कुछ नहीं है, वहाँ के लोग कंगाल है, वहाँ के चीफ मिनिस्टर कंगाल है, वहाँ की एडमिशन सारी कंगाल है। उससे तो बेहतर इंडिया ही है। आप देखो दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है इस वक्त।
आपको लग रहा है जैसे पूरे दुनिया भर की अगर हम बात करें, जैसे पाकिस्तान नौजवानों को यूज करते हैं, जैसे हमने पहले भी कहा, क्या आपको लग रहा है आपके भाई को भी उन्होंने यूज किया होगा?
ये तो जेन्युइन बात है। आज कोशिश पर इल्म सही बोलूं सही बजम सही पान से नौजवान यूथ आखिर इल्तिजाज करना, पढ़ो लिखो हिंदी तो सही क्या है, वो आप देखो सही क्या है, किताबें देखो क्या है, हक क्या है, हक की तरफ आओ।
बिल्कुल। तो आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे जो इंडिपेंडेंस डे आ रहा है, क्या मैसेज पूरे दुनिया भर के लिए आप देना चाहेंगे?
बस सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, हम बुलबुल इसके ये गुलिस्तान। थैंक यू।
एक स्पेशल मैसेज पाकिस्तान के लिए भी, जो कि वहाँ पे कंटिन्यूसली यहाँ पर
पाकिस्तान से हमें क्या करना है? पाकिस्तान से कुछ लेना देना है, हम हिंदुस्तानी है, हिंदुस्तानी थे, पाकिस्तान से क्या है? वो अलग है, वो जाने ऊपर जाने, वो क्या है।
आप अपने भाई को अपील करते हैं वापस लौट आने के लिए?
मैं उससे इंतजार करता हूँ, अगर कहीं जिंदा है, अगर जिंदा है कहीं तो आए, मेहरबान के मैं उसके लिए बैठा हूँ। मेरे SP साहब से भी रब्ता है, CO साहब से भी रब्ता है। अगर वो आना चाहे, अगर जिंदा है तो आए, मैं वेलकम करता हूँ।
वो एक्टिव कब हुए थे? अगर 2009 से अभी तक वो एक्टिव है। आप मुझे बताइए, आपकी कभी उनसे बातचीत हुई या आपने उनको मोटिवेट किया आने?
नहीं, 2016 में वो घर आए, उसने बोला मैं सल्यूट करना है।
ओके।
उसके बाद यहाँ सोपुर SSP था वहीम साहब, और मसरत साहब था SHO। हमने उससे बात की, लेकिन उस दौरान बहुत सारे एजेंसी से आए, उन्होंने बोला हमारे साथ ये हमें दे दो। उसके बाद वो नहीं आए। उसके बाद है या नहीं है चले गए। उसके बाद पता नहीं अब जिंदा है या मरा है। बस
ठीक है, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए। जैसे हमने इनसे बात की तो मेरे विजय आपको दिखा सकते हैं, हालांकि इनके घर में भी जो है ट्रिकलर जो है लगा हुआ है। अगर हम बात करें मॉर्निंग से ही लगातार रिपब्लिक ने जैसे इसको आज मॉर्निंग में ही आफ्टरनून के समय ही ब्रेक किया, उसके साथ आप देख सकते हो किस तरह से, हालांकि ये जो एक्टिव टेररिस्ट अभी है उसके घर में भी आप देख सकते हो किस तरह चल रहा है। और इनके घर वालों का साफ से ये कहना है कि सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा।
There you heard a strong message, the true image of the Naya Kashmir, but some people remain in denial, or rather want people to remain in denial, viewers. Kashmir is gripped in national fervor right now, but Mehbooba Mufti is at it again, politicizing the Tiranga Yatra that was flagged off by Jammu and Kashmir LG Manoj Sinha. Now Mufti has drawn comparisons with Nehru. Taking to social media platform X, Mufti said, and I quote, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru with the Tiranga standing tall amongst a sea of enthusiastic Kashmiris at the Lal Chowk, Srinagar, circa 1949. Lieutenant Governor administration carrying the same national flag surrounded by a posse of security personnel in 2023. So that is the tweet, that is the post by Mehbooba Mufti, but she is of course not at all talking about that image to your left. You can see terrorists, relatives, the family hoisting the Tiranga very proudly.
Those who always do Desh Virod in the name of Modi Virod are today opposing the Tiranga once again. The Har Ghar Tiranga campaign is a people's movement. It's not a political movement. And therefore, everyone should support it. The Prime Minister has told the entire nation that they must put the Tiranga on their display pic and in their houses. And following this call, from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from west to east, to northeast, every part of the country, people are following this and they are putting up the Tiranga in their house. They are putting up the Tiranga on their DP. But unfortunately, those who were used to seeing ISIS flags, those who were used to seeing other kinds of flags flying in Jammu Kashmir, and they were okay with that, are now having a problem with Tiranga on the streets of Jammu Kashmir. Today, the Tiranga is flying high from Lal Killa to Lal Chowk. But those who said that if Article 370 is abrogated, nobody will hold the Tiranga. Today, those people are once again opposing the Tiranga. And ironically, they are part of the alliance, which is a remodeled UPA, which has I.N.D.I.A in its name. Now, the allies must tell us that why are they opposing the Tiranga? This is a symbol of India. This is a symbol of Bharat Mata. But unfortunately, these people have only done politics of PPP, Pakistan Parasti, Patharbazi and Parivarvad. And therefore, they have a problem when the Tiranga is flying high. They have a problem when the symbol of Rashtravad is flying high. They only want symbols of Parivarvad.
महबूबा मुफ्ती बार बार ट्वीट करके भारत को बदनाम करने की, जम्मू कश्मीर को बदनाम करने का प्रयास करती है। 1949 की जवाहरलाल नेहरू की फोटो डाल रही हैं और उसमें विदाउट सिक्योरिटी या जैसा भी उसके बारे में कह रही हैं, 2023 के साथ कंपैरिजन कर रही हैं एलजी साहब की तिरंगा यात्रा के साथ। अगर आपने हालात ना बिगाड़े होते कश्मीर के, तो शायद अब भी सिक्योरिटी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती। आप उन सैनिकों का अपमान कर रही हैं जिन्होंने जम्मू कश्मीर की एकता और अखंडता के लिए बलिदान दिए हैं, और खास करके तिरंगा यात्रा जो निकलती है, ये नेशनल स्पिरिट है लोगों में, उसके कारण से ऐसी निकल रही हैं। और आज़ादी के समृद्ध महोत्सव पर मजाक बनाना ये बिल्कुल गलत है, माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए। आपके पूर्वजों ने, आपके लोगों ने अगर वहां कश्मीर के हालात खराब ना किए होते, पाकिस्तान परस्ती ना रखी होती, हुर्रियत की सपोर्ट ना की होती, पाक से बात करने की वकालत ना की होती, पत्थरबाजों को ना उकसाया होता, तो हालात सब अच्छे होते। अब परिस्थितियां जम्मू कश्मीर में सुधरी हैं, लेकिन उसको खराब करने का, गुमराह करने का प्रयास मत करो।
Now, Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off the Tiranga rally on the banks of the Dal Lake to celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav ahead of the Independence Day. Century Laminates bring you more details on the same.
Ahead of Independence Day, Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha flagged off Tiranga rally.
स्वतंत्रता दिवस की अग्रिम बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। गत वर्ष भी श्रीनगर में हम लोगों ने तिरंगा यात्रा निकाली थी। आप सबको मालूम है कि 12 मार्च 2022 को जिसका अमृतकाल प्रारंभ हुआ, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने उसे शुरू किया था और 15 अगस्त 2023 को इसका समापन होगा।
The rally commenced from SKICC till the Botanical Garden on the banks of Dal Lake. Even Dal Lake donned the hues of the tricolor. All this to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav ahead of Independence Day. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor appealed to everyone to join this campaign by hoisting the tricolor on their homes till August 15th. The Director General of Police, Jammu and Kashmir, Dilbagh Singh, also took part in the Tiranga rally and said that we are feeling very proud.
हमें सतर्क रहना, कोशिश अभी भी जारी है। नौजवान बच्चों को वर्गलाने की कोशिशें अभी भी पार से होती हैं। कुछ लोगों को सोशल मीडिया के जरिए से इस तरह की हरकतों में शामिल करने के लिए उकसाया जाता है। मुझे खुशी है कि बहुत सारे लोग अब ये बात को समझ चुके हैं। ज़्यादातर लोग ये जानते हैं कि ये रास्ता बर्बादी का, तबाही का रास्ता है। नौजवान बच्चों ने अमन का रास्ता चुना है, मैं उनको शाबाशी देता हूं और मैं चाहता हूं कि जो बच्चे अभी भी थोड़ा बहुत बहकावे में आते हैं उनको भी सतर्क और होशियार रहने की ज़रूरत है। हमारे समाज को, हमारे परिवारों को, हमारे फैमिलीज़ को भी सतर्क रहने की ज़रूरत है कि वो अपने बच्चों को संभाल के रखें।
A fervor of patriotism and nationalism was witnessed during the massive Tiranga rally. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
News from Pakistan now. Balochistan Liberation Army has claimed to kill 13 people, including 4 Chinese nationals. Chinese engineers came under terror attack in Gwadar of Balochistan. Now, on the other hand, Pakistan security forces have claimed to kill 2 terrorists. Pakistani army said that no soldier was martyred. Now, this attack comes a fortnight after Chinese Vice Premier's visit to Pakistan. Here are all the developments and the latest updates on that.
A convoy of Chinese engineers was attacked in Gwadar in Pakistan's Balochistan. The attack occurred near the Gwadar police station in Balochistan. The attack took place when the convoy carrying 23 Chinese engineers was passing the police station and an IED blast took place. Even the Chinese media has shared a video of the attack. A van which was part of the convoy was shot at, breaking the windshield.
Following today's operation or attack as well, the Chinese embassy and the Chinese government and also the Pakistani government have not given their stance. And as I told you earlier, that the Pakistan security forces have denied whether it was an attack on Chinese engineers. They said it was a military operation, security operation that was carried out on the tip of a source, and according to that source, there was a group of the terrorists that were hiding somewhere in Gwadar,
right.
And they did not even tell us the group was hiding over there, and what about the target of this group as well.
According to some sources, the BLA has claimed this attack. The Chinese Consulate General in Karachi has also issued a safety warning following the attack on the convoy of engineers. Due to the grave security situation, the consulate has asked people to pay close attention and strictly control large-scale gathering activities. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
In a mega capability boost, the Indian Air Force has inducted its latest Heron Mark II drones, which have strike capability and can carry out surveillance along the borders with both China and Pakistan in a single sortie itself. Century Laminates brings you this report.
This is India's newly inducted Heron Mark II drones. Known as Warden of the North, the 4 new Heron Mark II drones have strike capability and can carry out surveillance along the borders with China and Pakistan in a single sortie itself. And also can be equipped with long-range missiles and other weapon systems.
Heron Mark II is a very capable drone. This is capable of longer endurance and beyond line of sight capability. With this, entire country can be surveilled from the same place. Also, longer endurance will ensure that multiple missions can be flown and multiple sectors can be addressed from in one mission itself. And it seamlessly amalgamates into the entire ISR matrix of, that is intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance matrix of Indian Air Force.
The pilot of the Heron Mark II drone, Squadron Leader Arpit Tandon, said that the new version of the Heron drones has multiple advantages.
It's the state-of-the-art technology. You really have to fly it to believe it. It has more enhanced avionics suite and also more powerful engine which can make us fly over the Himalayan ranges and address both eastern and western adversaries, and it can also fly in sub-zero temperatures in any weather conditions, so that we are not limited by any of these conditions to keep an eye on our adversaries.
And ahead of the Independence Day celebrations, India is getting a version of the drones that can be equipped with weapons and will have sensors for different roles in different terrains. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Patriots Day was observed in Manipur. Manipur offers tribute to Bir Tikendrajit and Thangal General who were hung by the British on this day. The Governor, Chief Minister, Council of Ministers offered tribute at the memorial. Here's my colleague Aniruddha's exclusive report on Patriot Day.
Though going through a hard phase with the ethnic violence in the state of Manipur for last more than 90 days along with the rest of the country, Manipur is also gearing up to celebrate the Independence Day. Right now we are reporting from the polo ground in Imphal, and today the Patriots Day is being observed here. A solemn ceremony to honor the patriots who have laid down their life for the country. It was on this day in 1891 that the Crown Prince of Manipur, Bir Tricolor, and his army general, the Thangal general, were hanged at this particular spot by the British in an attempt to dominate the spirit of independence. In the War of Independence, Bir Tricolor and the Thangal general are held in high esteem, and every year the Patriot Day is observed on 13th of August in Manipur. Though the state is going through a hard phase with the ethnic violence in the state, which is on for last more than 100 days as on that, there is no less in the celebration of the Patriots Day here, and we bring you these pictures from the polo ground. Governor Anusuya Uike, Minister of Manipur, and Biren Singh, the entire cabinet, the bureaucrats and all officials of Manipur have gathered here, along with hundreds of people from different walks of life, to salute and honor the valor of Bir Tricolor, the Crown Prince of Manipur, and the Thangal general, who were hanged here in front of 3,000 people on 13th of August 1891. India salutes its bravers. With video journalist Ashok, I am Anuruddha Bhakat, and this is Republic Media Network.
नहीं, इलाबोरेट का बात नहीं है अभी। देखो, जो जहाँ पे रिलीफ कैम्प में है तो कंफर्टेबल नहीं फील कर रहा है, तो हम लोग उसको ये प्री फैब्रिकेटेड घर बनाने का जो थोड़ा टाइम लिया है, अभी 3 जगह में है। One is at the Sajiwa jail nearby, and one is at the Thobal area, and one is in the Kaukta area, and one is at Chorchanpur and the Kampopi East. So almost in some area it is already completed, and we are planning to shift the displaced person from the relief camp to the prefabricated houses after the 15 August.
सर, बच्चे जो अभी भी रिलीफ कैंप में हैं, उनकी पढ़ाई लिखाई में प्रॉब्लम है?
हम कुछ कोशिश कर रहा है। अभी ऑलरेडी क्लास अप टू क्लास 8 तक तो खोल दिया है। उसमें हम लोग जो रिलीफ से है उसको नज़दीक स्कूल में हम लोग स्कूल में जाके एडमिट करा रहा है, लेकिन फॉर द फर्दर क्लासेस विल
Medical students are you hopeful that the Independence Day will be very peaceful in the state of Manipur?
We will be very soon. We will celebrate at the
All right, the nation celebrates Har Ghar Tiranga. Mesmerizing visuals coming in from across the country, including Jammu and Kashmir.